Hello, and welcome to today's webinar, IRAs Demystified, presented by the Office of Gift Planning and the Phoenix Society, which welcomes all donors who make life income or estate commitments to benefit the University of Chicago. Members of the Phoenix Society enjoy special benefits and recognition, including invitations to exclusive university events and complimentary admission to Harper Lectures. I am so pleased to have you join us today, and we are thrilled to know that you are looking to us as a resource for philanthropic planning. I am Candice Cole, the Associate Director of Gift Planning, and I'm also a Phoenix Society member. So I am delighted to share insights with you today on the latest tax laws and regulations regarding charitable giving strategies. This program is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal, tax, or financial advice. While we hope you gain valuable insights to assist in your charitable and legacy planning, we encourage you to consult your own advisors to discuss what's best for your specific situation. Now, let's review our agenda for today. In today's webinar, we will cover an overview of IRAs, beneficiary designations, qualified charitable distributions. We will then be joined by an amazing couple, Mark and Linda Moore, who have established 2 gift annuities using qualified distributions from their IRAs. They will share their experience with this giving vehicle and how it has helped them achieve their philanthropic and financial goals. And finally, audience Q&A, and we will set aside ample time to address your questions. So, overview. There are many types of IRAs, including traditional, Roth, simple, and SEP IRAs. However, today we will focus primarily on traditional IRAs in the context of charitable planning. We have received several questions about Roth IRAs, and I will take time to address those during our Q&A segment. Before we dive in, let's start with our first poll question to break the ice. All right, what does IRA stand for? Individual retirement asset, individual retirement account, individual retirement arrangement, or individual retirement annuity? I'll give you all a few seconds to answer. It's a good question. And I see a lot of, I love the participation. We want this to be interactive and engaging. So we see, I see the responses. All right, now let's see the answer. So according to the Internal Revenue Service, IRA officially stands for Individual Retirement Arrangement, though it's commonly referred to as Individual Retirement Account, which is perfectly fine. I just wanted to kick things off with a little fun fact, and if you ever find yourself on Jeopardy, you're welcome. All right, so let me clear this out. All right. All right. A traditional IRA is a tax-advantaged personal savings plan that offers several key benefits, such as tax-deductible contributions, depending on factors like earned income, tax filing status, and participation in other retirement plans. Shelters current income, provides tax-deferred growth, which means earnings within your account grows tax-deferred, and you won't pay taxes on gains until retirement, until you withdraw the funds in retirement. And it is accessible and easy to set up, making them an effective tool for long-term retirement planning. So contribution limits. You can contribute the lesser of your earned income or the annual contribution limit. For 2025, it is up to $7,000 or $8,000 if you're 50 or older and making a catch-up contribution. A few other key points to mention: the Secure Act of 2019 removed age limits for traditional IRA contributions. So as long as you have earned income, you can contribute regardless of your age. Also, contributions must be made by the federal income tax return deadline without extensions, which is typically April 15th. Deductions. So you may be eligible to deduct your traditional IRA contributions, but if you also participate in a qualified employer plan, such as 401ks or 403Bs, pension plans, or profit sharing plans, your ability to deduct contributions may be subject to income limits, as shown on this slide. Also, let's chat about these early withdrawal tax exceptions, which would be helpful to know. Once you reach age 59 and a half, you can withdraw funds from your traditional IRA without penalties, but your deductible contributions and earnings will be taxed as ordinary income. If you would withdraw funds before age 59 and a half, you may face a 10% early withdrawal penalty unless you qualify for one of the exceptions, including, but not limited to, permanent disability, higher education expenses, terminal illness, emergency personal expenses, or unreimbursed medical expenses. Required minimum distributions, or RMDs, it is essentially the minimum amount you must take out of your retirement account after a certain age to avoid a penalty. If you meet the age requirement of 59 and a half or older, you can withdraw additional funds if necessary, which will be taxed as ordinary income. And the apparent legislative purpose of RMDs is to ensure that the government eventually receives tax revenue on the money that was contributed pre-tax and grew tax deferred. Water break, is that allowed? Let's see. You can find the required minimum distribution calculation on the screen. It's a simple calculation using your account value as of December 31st of the previous year and the applicable life expectancy factor. But your IRA custodian or advisor should provide you with the appropriate values each year. Timing of RMDs. Your first required minimum distribution must be taken by April 1st of the year following the year you turn 73. After that, all subsequent RMDs must be taken by December 31st each year to avoid penalties. All right. So passed in December of 2022, the Secure Act 2.0 made key changes to required minimum distributions. The age increased from 72 to 73 and will increase to 75 in the year of 2033. This change allows retirees more time to grow their retirement savings before mandatory withdrawals begin. Also, penalties for missed RMDs. Failure to withdraw the full amount on time results in a 25% excise tax on the amount not withdrawn. However, if the error is corrected within 2 years, the penalty is reduced to 10%. Here are a few points to remember pertaining to IRAs and RMDs. If you turn 73 this year, you have until April 1st of the following year to make your RMD. After your first RMD, all future withdrawals must be made by December 31st of each year. Please work with your IRA custodian to determine the exact amount required for the year. Next, we will discuss beneficiary designations, but first, let's dive into another poll question. How often is it recommended you review your beneficiary designations and estate plans? Is it only the initial setup is necessary? Every 1 to 3 years or when a major life event occurs? Every 5 years or every 10 years? Let's see what you all think. Oh, you all are on to something. So let's see the answer. Yes, it is recommended to review and update your beneficiary designations every 1 to 3 years or whenever a major life event occurs, which could be a marriage, a divorce, death, birth, adoption, disability, or moving to a new state, to just name a few. Beneficiary designations are important because they ensure that assets such as IRAs, pension plans, and other financial accounts are transferred directly to the intended recipients without going through probate. And in this case, naming a charity as a beneficiary is a simple and flexible way to support a cause that you really care about. It's easy to update, often done through an online portal with no need to amend your will. You can specify your gift purpose, You can direct your gift to a specific fund, program, or initiative, and you can leave a lasting legacy and continue making an impact beyond your lifetime by supporting a meaningful cause. I encourage you to review your beneficiary designations, and if while you're in there you want to add UChicago, we wouldn't stop you. I just want to add that in there. We just want to empower you to make informed decisions while you are here and have full capacity. So this is a sample beneficiary designation form, which allows you to clearly specify who will receive your assets when you pass away. This includes a primary beneficiary, the first in line to receive your assets, and contingent beneficiary, essentially the backup in case the primary beneficiary is unable to inherit. Estate planning is deeply personal. It evolves with time, reflecting changes in relationships, priorities, and financial circumstances. For example, I mentioned that I am a Phoenix Society member, which offers membership to those who have included U of C in their estate plan. And so in my case, I am not married. I do not have descendants yet. I don't have them yet. So the majority of my estate will pass to charity, the University of Chicago specifically. And while we don't have enough time for the full story, a person very close to me received care at the hospital. And the level of compassion and support from the U of C staff just far exceeded anything that we could have imagined, especially during the final years of our loved one's life. And that affected me. So much so that I went and I updated my will, and it's been in place for almost 10 years now. But that's just one example. There are other cases in which the primary focus is securing and providing for your family's financial future, which is entirely understandable. But you may also want to include charitable giving in your plan. Fortunately, there are various vehicles and strategies to help you achieve both objectives. Everyone's estate plan, oh, everyone's estate planning journey looks different. And as life evolves, so do our priorities. So you don't need to have everything figured out right now. The key is to have something in place that reflects your current values and intentions. At the core, I believe that estate planning is an act of love and security. It allows you to take control of your legacy, ensuring your assets are distributed according to your wishes. So please make these decisions before someone else has to make them for you. So if you are, in fact, interested in including a gift to the university in the form of a beneficiary designation or a bequest in your trust or will, we kindly ask or request that you complete this confidential statement of bequest provision, which we maintain securely in the Office of Gift Planning. And we understand that these decisions are deeply personal and often take time. But when the moment is right, people often follow through in meaningful ways. Typically, people just want the peace of mind in knowing that when that time comes, just like a zillion years down the line, they know that their plans will be honored with no uncertainty about their intentions or the impact they sought to make. So if you choose to leave a gift to the University of Chicago through a beneficiary designation, there's often limited space to specify the purpose for your gift, if you've ever seen one of those forms. And that's where the bequest letter of direction comes in, prepared by the Office of Gift Planning. And this letter ensures that your gift will be used exactly as you intend. For example, just last year, I finally completed my own bequest letter of direction. For about, I think, 8 years, my beneficiary designation only listed the hospital, but I learned that I could be even more specific about my wishes. So now I've designated my gift to a program designed to brighten patient stays, whether it's through recreation, education, or entertainment. And it brings me joy to know that one day the gift will help to make someone's hospital experience a little more pleasant, even in difficult circumstances. And there are many ways to make an impact at the University of Chicago. And you have the opportunity to tell us what matters most to you. And I can say from my interactions with you all, wonderful alumni and friends of the university, I really ask, what do you want to support? We love gifts, but we want to really listen to you. That's important. So you are able to designate funds or your gift to various causes. So whether it's the Odyssey Scholarship Fund in the college to benefit undergraduate students, or cancer research in the Biological Sciences Division, or perhaps establishing a professorship at the Booth School of Business, or finally the Element Scholarship Fund for the law school. We are here to listen and help you direct your gift in a way that reflects your values. And one key benefit of the bequest letter of direction is that it can be updated or modified by our office as your plans evolve without the need to revisit an estate planning attorney. Okay. How many reasons people avoid estate planning? I would like to share a story with you. A gentleman, just 40 years old. He had it all: a loving wife, a child, a home, the American dream. And then suddenly he passed away at home. He was celebrating Christmas one evening with his family, and then the next day he was gone. No one saw it coming. Sadly, he never updated his estate plan or beneficiary designations. And when the time came to settle his affairs, his assets passed to his sister, not his wife, not his child. Was it an oversight? Was it procrastination? Was it intentional? No one will ever know. Imagine grieving while also dealing with a financial battle and family disputes over what should have happened. This situation could have torn the family apart. And I know this story so well because I, in fact, am the sister in this story. Fortunately, because I've worked in this field for a very long time, I was able to navigate the conversation and help prevent a major conflict. But not every family is that lucky. This is why estate planning matters, regardless of your age. So taking the time to review your plans and um, taking the time to review your plans now so that you can prevent unimaginable stress for your loved ones later. The way we think about money, wealth, and planning is shaped by our history, experiences, and what we observed growing up, especially during our formative years. These money stories can deeply influence how we approach estate planning and other financial decisions, such as, my family will figure it out. It's too complicated. I don't want to think about it, or I'll do it later. So, or maybe you believe estate planning is only for the ultra wealthy. So you put it off, assuming that it doesn't apply to you. The truth is, estate planning is for everyone. And understanding the money stories we tell ourselves can help us make clear, intentional decisions about our financial future. By recognizing these thoughts and influences, we can take proactive steps to ensure our loved ones are protected and our wishes are honored. More of the story. Life happens to everyone, young or old, married or single, wealthy or just starting out. Life is unpredictable. Life's unpredictable. And estate planning isn't just for later or for other people, it's for you. It's for your loved ones and for the peace of mind that comes with knowing everything is in place. Reasons to prioritize estate planning. So estate planning isn't just about assets. It's about protection, clarity, and peace of mind, which means protecting your beneficiaries, avoiding probate, which is important. I would like to mention probate is costly, it's time consuming, and it's public. So I think if you can avoid it, I think that would be great advice. Also, to minimize taxes, express your wishes, transparency, control, peace of mind, and mitigate family disputes. I chose that word for a reason. Even with the best of planning, there may still be disagreements. That's to be expected. I'm not saying planning will solve everything, but if you can do something today to help your family tomorrow, I think that may be a good decision to make. And estate planning allows you to shape your legacy with intention and care rather than leaving important decisions to chance. And since we're here, I know we'll get back, I promise. Since we're here, I wanted to give you something to think about. In addition to updating your beneficiaries, please consider the big three to ensure your wishes are honored. So there are three essential documents. One, the last will and testament, which specifies how assets will be distributed. Power of attorney, or POA, grants legal authority to someone you trust to handle financial and legal matters on your behalf if you become unable to do so. And then a living will, or healthcare power of attorney, ensures critical healthcare decisions are made according to your wishes if you're unable to communicate, especially in cases of terminal illness or incapacitation. And having these documents in place ensures that your finances, health, and legacy are handled on your terms, not left to state laws or court decisions. Okay. Almost done, I promise, with this section. So we have created a helpful estate planning organizer, which includes key information about assets and accounts, guidance on updating and maintaining your plan, and important contacts such as your attorney, financial advisor, executor, etc. The organizer is designed to help simplify the estate planning process and keep everything organized and accessible for you and your loved ones, including your final wishes. My sister-in-law, from the previous story, she will serve as my executor when the time comes. And I've made sure that she knows there's a binder, a simple binder in my home office that contains this very estate planning organizer, my last will and testament, life insurance policies, Benny designations, passwords, and final wishes, which is very important. So I have full confidence that she will honor my wishes because I took the time to document and communicate everything clearly. Was it uncomfortable? Yes. Did I want to have a conversation? No. But was it necessary? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the power of good estate planning. It removes uncertainty, gives your loved ones guidance to make the best choices that align with your wishes. And just other things to think about as you're going through this process. Who do you wish to provide for? Whether it's spouse, children, friends, charities, how do you wish to provide for them? Whether it's gifts or outright gifts, trust, or other financial vehicles. And then who would you like to serve as your executor or trustee? And just things to think about. Are they honest? Are they trustworthy, organized, reliable, willing? That's important, and available. So we'll plan to send this in a follow-up email so that you'll have a link to it. But taking the time to answer these questions now will make a world of difference for your loved ones in the future. And so in summary, organize and communicate your estate plans, review designations every 1 to 3 years or as major life events occur. Consider your big three, as a little proactive planning today can bring clarity, control, and peace of mind for the future. Now, we will move into qualified charitable distributions. And of course, there's another poll question. How are qualified charitable distributions taxed? As ordinary income, tax-free if sent directly to a qualified charity, subject to capital gains tax, or at a reduced charitable rate? Let's see what you all think. Okay. All right, so let's see the answer. You guessed it, tax-free if sent directly to a qualified charity. This can help reduce taxable income while supporting a cause that matters to you. Since 2006, IRA owners aged 70 and a half or older have been allowed to make tax-free charitable distributions directly from an IRA to a qualified charity. And so this allows for tax-free giving where you avoid income tax on the distribution, satisfies required minimum distributions, or those RMDs, starting at age 73, maximizes charitable impact, which provides up to $108,000 annually as of 2025, and tax-free giving, and it reduces taxable income, which helps to lower your adjusted gross income, or AGI, and potentially reduces state income taxes. So the QCD requirements: you must be 70 and a half or older. Funds must come from an eligible IRA, so a traditional, rollover, inherited, or inactive SEP or simple IRAs. They have to be inactive. They can't be current. And this is important. Please write this down. It cannot go to donor advised funds or private foundations. So QCDs are not eligible for that. And then other QCD considerations. So technically, Roth IRAs are eligible, but many of the tax benefits are lost or they're limited. So we just encourage you to consult your tax advisor before using a Roth for QCDs. It's possible we can discuss, perhaps some strategies later, but okay. So I'm going to tell you about a special one-time opportunity to fund a charitable gift annuity using a QCD. But first, I have to share a little bit about CGAs. What is a charitable gift annuity? So our gift annuities, a CGA is a contract between a donor and the university. In exchange for the donor's contribution, the university agrees to pay an annuity, a fixed dollar amount, to the donor for the rest of the donor's lifetime. The annuity terminates at the end of the annuitant's lives, and the residuum, what's left over, is used by the university to support a designated purpose, program, or endowment. The benefits include a guaranteed stream of income, guaranteed fixed stream of income, financial security, as the payments are backed by the university's assets and endowments, and ultimately provides a meaningful gift to the University of Chicago. So, beginning in 2024, individuals who are eligible to use QCDs can use up to $54,000 in this year, 2025, indexed for inflation, so it changes each year, to fund either a charitable remainder unit trust, a charitable remainder annuity trust, a CRAT, or a charitable gift annuity, which is the most common use that we've seen for this opportunity. A few other notes: it can only benefit the donor and or the donor spouse. With a regular CGA, you can make anyone an annuitant, but for this, only donor or donor spouse. Must have a combined annuity payout rate of at least 5%. No charitable deductions, since the QCD is excluded from income, so you never pay taxes, so you can't claim that deduction. And payments are taxed as ordinary income. So it's really good. Why consider QCD CGA? It's great for retirement planning, to secure lifetime income while reducing taxable RMDs. And it's the best of both worlds. You receive income now and you leave a legacy for a charity later. And it can be a win-win for those who want to maximize their impact while securing financial stability in retirement. And so this is a charitable gift annuity illustration. So before making a commitment, we will send you a customized gift planning or gift illustration, which will contain the projected annuity payments, potential tax benefits, and the impact of your gift. And our rates align with the American Council on Gift Annuities, so it's called the ACGA, which ensures fair and sustainable payouts, which is important. There are organizations that have, much higher payouts, but you have to look at, is it reliable? Is it stable? In 20, 30 years, will they still be here? So things to consider. And on the screen, we have an example of a donor who's 73, made a contribution of $50,000. This ACGA rate is 6.7%. And then at this point, the annual payments will be $3,350. And once you decide to move forward, we'll send you over the application, direct deposit form, and transfer instructions. And once again, we have a calculator, a gift planning calculator on the website that you can use, or you can always call in, and myself or another member of our team would be happy to meet with you. So points to remember. Getting through this. You must be at least 70 and a half to make a QCD or CGA, or utilize a QCD or QCD CGA. Annual limit, $108,000. QCD CGA maximum, $54,000. and it will satisfy your RMD requirements. Remember, these strategies allow you to reduce taxable income while supporting the causes that matter most to you. All right. Oh, goodness, I did it on time. Thank you all for staying in there with me. Okay, so now it is time for our much anticipated conversation with Mark and Linda Moore, who are wonderful, by the way. So, Mark Moore attended the University of California, Irvine, and later to the University of Chicago Law School. In between, he served in the U.S. Peace Corps in Korea and worked for a few years in Saudi Arabia. Linda Moore was a business major at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, interrupting college for a year to serve as Miss Wisconsin in 1970. She later received a degree in interior design. The two met in downtown Los Angeles and married in 1989. Mark made a career in what is now known as consumer law, representing financial institutions and focusing on payment systems. In 2021, he was awarded the California Bankers Association's Robert Frenzel Award for superior and noteworthy legal assistance by outside counsel to the California banking industry. And there's more. And in 2014, was elected as a fellow of the American College of Consumer Financial Services Lawyers. Linda made a career in retail banking, including at first Interstate Bancorp, at the time the only large multi-state bank holding company. More recently, she served as president of the Laguna Beach Garden Club and has been active in local politics. So with that, let me stop this share. So with that, Mark and Linda, it is truly a pleasure to have you here today with us. I'm so grateful that the two of you are willing to share your experiences and with our organization, with the University of Chicago, with our gift annuity. So thank you. You all are just fantastic. Oh goodness. So I guess I'll hop into the first question if that's okay. Mark, let's start with you. How was your experience attending the law school? Do you have any favorite memories from your time there?
So thank you, Candice, and also thank you for the information you've given us so far. It was very helpful. I've made plenty of notes, and we came to this with somewhat sophisticated insights already. So thank you. The University of Chicago was pivotal in my life, actually, as an experience. Uh, Coming into it, I was at various times a Marxist Leninist communist. Early on in my life, I gradually discovered what I thought might be the benefits of capitalist systems. This was while I was a Peace Corps volunteer, actually, in Korea. The University of Chicago at the time in the law school was at the forefront of a development that's now known as law and economics. And one of the reasons I chose that school was because I did want to know more about business. But more than that, what I gained out of the university and the law school in particular was a kind of critical reasoning that brought to bear questions about what law is intended to accomplish. What are we trying to do here? What is it as a society we seek to benefit from by enacting these rules? It was from the perspective of law and economics, but it carries over into other areas, law and sociology, whatever. I gained a lot. It was, as I say, pivotal in my life. It allowed me to see what it meant to begin with a thesis, test it, and then reach a resolution. We use the Socratic method. I mean, that's the old story about what law school does, but it was interactive. It was very intimidating. I had always been kind of the brightest bulb in the room until I walked into that school. And I quickly learned there were suns and there were moons, and it was humbling, which was a good thing. It was also informative, which is really what benefited me. And now I'll just finish. The specifics of things I remember are the Friday afternoon wine get-togethers, wine and cheese parties. And, I grew up in California, where if a building is 200 years old, it's thought of as ancient. Most of those are made out of adobe. So when I got to the University of Chicago and saw the campus, I was really overwhelmed. I thought, so this is what people mean when they talk about maybe mistakenly Ivy League is what I thought, but that was because I'm the first guy to go to college in my family. So.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Linda, and I'll Linda, you established a CGA in 2024, and then Mark, you followed in 2025. So you wasted no time because this is a brand new opportunity. How and when did you first learn about qualified charitable distributions and the ability to fund a CGA?
I first read about it in the Wall Street Journal. We subscribe to that, the LA Times and Financial Times, we find very helpful as well. Also, back when I was in college, someone was kind enough to give me a job at a bank, opening up new accounts. And I very much became interested in bank products. And as I explained to others what these products would do to help them start or continue to manage their money, I, of course, convinced myself. Now, I was doing this back in 1971. Then in 1975 is when this IRA was first authorized. At least that was the first tax year back with a $1,500 maximum contribution. I was going around to all my friends in my mid to late 20s saying, you need to do this every year. You should do this, put it away, forget about it. And no one would listen to me. But Mark and I, over the years, turned out we are the same kind of person. And that was the time to do it. You know, at the beginning of your life, I know everyone here did that. At some point you did, and now you have these RMDs to look at. We're at this point in our life now. I'm 74 and Mark will be 73 soon. So what we could see about this product, first of all, we have no pension. We like the idea of building a pension, and you can do that with the money in your traditional IRA. You can do a couple other things to build a pension over with an insurance company, and I won't get into that. But what we could see is you did this one time, the exact amount, do it as soon as possible because you get your RMDs lower. Why not? And you have to pick the right institution. You have to have an institution that will pay you for as long as you live. And I do feel for many reasons the University of Chicago is that institution. It's a win-win. We get, because we have all these other terms where the last one of us dies, we're at like 5.9% on the rate, but it depends on your terms. And you can just go to the American College of Gift Annuity website also, and they'll tell you, and if they're changing the rate, they won't do it, and the rate changes tomorrow. So that helps. I like too that it was a fixed rate. There were a lot of things you didn't have to decide for yourself because I find that keeps people from doing it. And this is something, it's very simple. You need to have University of Chicago or some other institution that you trust. And another thing you can trust about these people, Candice in particular, is she will hold your hand. Do it. I would say do it as soon as possible. Another thing is it's such a new product. Sometimes where you're banking, they aren't quite up to speed, and they'll don't do any other RMDs that year until you do this first. Just do that. Make sure they've applied it. And for many people, that'll take care of your RMD for that year anyway. If not, it'll certainly bring it way, way down. So anyhow, we love it. We've got, let's see, some income for life, transferred some risk, and we're so happy to be doing it with the University of Chicago. Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, you made several excellent points, and we're so happy that you had a positive experience. So my next question, once you decided to move forward with the CGA, how was your experience with the Office of Gift Planning? Did that Candice Cole give you any problems, or how was it? Was it, yeah.
Let me take that one.
Sure.
Well, except for Candice, everybody. Actually, I want to kind of approach it in two stages. One is making a decision, and then otherwise the benefits of the decision. So making the decision, as Linda said, can be difficult. There can be information overload. And Candice, you and your group, I want to thank for making this simple, as simple as complicated things can be. There's nothing inherently difficult about this. It's not complex, but it is complicated. And you and your group made it very straightforward. We knew what we were getting. We knew what we were getting looking at documents that were easy to read and understand. The examples you sent gave us a real clear picture of what we thought we were buying, if you want to put it that way. Also, what the requirements were and how to handle it. You were very helpful, making sure that we didn't touch the money. As your slide showed, it can't go first to the donor and then over to you. It went very smoothly that way. I liked also that, and this is now the after making the contract, your follow-up has been very, very helpful. You've given us information to show how the money is used at U of C. And I was pleased to see that, you guys were getting paid 6 point something. You guys are actually making a little more, which is fantastic. That's the goal. Yeah. In your endowment, you've invested it. You've got sharper people making investments than anybody outside of Linda. And we're real happy with that. We're real happy to see it go to the law school at the end. We chose to have the money, the annuity payments, which, as one of the questions popped up, they're treated as ordinary income coming to us monthly. We chose monthly rather than in your example quarterly because it was an option, and for us, it helped match the income to the spend side. We look at that as a monthly thing rather than every quarter or every year. And so this was a nice way of translating what was a balance sheet item into an income statement item. And it works out well that way.
That's terrific. Mark, and we have to wrap up now, but Mark and Linda, I want to just sincerely thank you for your time. I know initially, for those of you in the audience, initially the first date didn't work. And I remember when I met you, I said, oh my goodness, do you see this light bulb? Like, you all are perfect for the webinar. And I went back to my team and I said, I don't care if we have to change the date or broadcast from Pluto. Like, I need Mark and Linda more because the energy, the story, you all have been a ray of light. Everyone loves you in the Office of Gift Planning, but I told them, I said, no, they're mine. Get your own. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here, for supporting the University of Chicago, for engaging and for sharing your time today. You all are amazing. And I don't know.
Candice, I will just in 10 seconds say likewise. We really value you and your group and the university. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. And so, all right, well, thank Mark and Linda more. Before we get into audience Q&A, let's take a moment to recap the key takeaways from today's presentation. Okay, QCDs offer prime opportunities to enhance your giving and achieve greater tax savings. RMDs begin at age 73, but QCDs offer a tax-efficient way to give back starting at 70 and a half. Please review your estate plan every 1 to 3 years or after major life events, including marriage, birth, divorce, death, etc. Flexibility is key. Your estate plan can and should evolve as your life circumstances change. Where's the camera? Now is the time to take action. Please review your plans, update beneficiaries, and explore giving options that align with your values. Now is the time. Please don't procrastinate. Now it's time for audience Q&A. So I would like to mention that if you have a question and you haven't typed it into the chat just yet, please feel free to type it in. We also have questions that were pre-submitted. And with that, let's hop into the first question. And I'll get through as many of these as I can. If for some reason I'm unable to answer your questions, please feel free to reach out to our office and we'll get to it. But yeah. All right, the first question. Will you explain the difference between Will you explain the difference between giving from a Roth IRA versus a conventional IRA? So while you can use a QCD for both a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, you lose a lot of the benefits. So Roth IRAs, you're not required to take an RMD during life. For an inherited IRA, Roth IRA maybe, but during life, you don't have an RMD, and the payments will be tax free. So the primary difference between Roth and traditional is the timing of taxation. So if you really wanted to give from a Roth IRA, you could do a QCD, but you could also just take a withdrawal and then donate it to charity and take the tax deduction. Or you're able to designate the Roth, the charity as a beneficiary of your Roth IRA. So there are ways to give. It's just a QCD may not offer as many benefits for Roth IRA holders. I'll do that. I'll leave it there. All right, we have more questions. How does an IRA affect, how does an IRA of the parents impact the ability for a student to get financial aid? So retirement assets like traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs, 401ks do not count towards reportable assets. However, if you take a withdrawal from an IRA, even if it's for educational expenses, it counts as taxable income. Next question. I've gotten conflicting advice about whether to designate a trust, including a charitable remainder trust, as the beneficiary of an IRA. Could you please address the pros and cons? So let me explain what a CRUD is. A CRUD essentially is similar to a CGA, a charitable gift annuity. You make a contribution and then you receive payments for life, and then the charity receives the remainder. So charitable remainder. I think it makes sense if you have multiple life income beneficiaries. So if you and another person, then that makes sense, because once you pass away, then it could be added to the CRT and then it can grow. And then it will equal higher payments, or it will produce higher payments to your income beneficiary and then also to the charity. If you have multiple charitable beneficiaries, it could make sense as well, so that when you pass away and it goes into the CRT pot, essentially, it can be divided. So that's a good way to consolidate it. But if you're the only life income beneficiary and there's only one charitable beneficiary at the end, let's say UChicago, then it just makes more sense to designate UChicago, which is the ultimate charitable beneficiary, as beneficiary of the IRA, just for simplicity. But it depends. I would recommend speaking with your advisor. Please share how individuals can use self-directed IRAs to invest in donor-advised funds. So I touched on it earlier. You're unable to use QCDs for donor-advised funds. However, you have options. You could list the donor-advised fund as beneficiary of said account, or you can take the withdrawal and, let's say, for example, you have a traditional IRA, you can take the withdrawal and then give it to charity, pay the taxes, give it to charity, take the deduction. So there are ways, but you can't pay it directly to the donor advised fund. Are there any limits on the number of distinct recipients of QCD grants that an IRA owner can make per year? Hold on one second. Okay. To my knowledge, no. You have one pot for the QCD, $108,000. So you can divide that up how you would like to. Once again, all for charities or nonprofits are not eligible. So you need to make sure that they're eligible to receive the QCD. That's important. But if you wanted to give to 10 different charities, as long as it doesn't exceed the $108,000 limit, you're able to do that. And along the same lines with your charitable gift annuity, so your QCD CGA, you can split that up between organizations, depending on if you want to support another cause, or you can do it. You have the option. So if you wanted to do, let's say 25 at UChicago and then 25,000 for ABC University, that's not the University of Chicago, you can do that as long as it equals up to the $54,000. Okay, we have another one here, and these are all the pre-submitted questions. Please describe QCD steps to donate IRA funds towards Dr. Richard Larson's UCH cancer research work to develop first-line therapies for children and refractory or relapsed leukemias, stem cell transplantation strategies, and new phase 1 drugs for leukemia. Love this real world example. So essentially, if you wanted to make a QCD, you would reach out to our office, or if you would like, if someone can put my email address in the chat, that would be wonderful. You can email me directly or the Office of Gift Planning, and we'll be able to share with you instructions, whether you want to make a check payment or, oh, there we go. Thank you. Or a wire transfer, which in my opinion, wire transfers are easier because it's going from bank to bank. But if you wanted to create it or produce a check and send it in, you could also do that. But essentially, you would just need to let us know that you want to support this research, and then we'll coordinate. So one of the things we do in our office, or the university in general, but the Office of Gift Planning, I know for sure, we make sure that we okay, got it. We make sure that we follow up with the gift administration team to say, hey, did we receive it? Can we give confirmation? And just to ensure that it's properly designated, and then you're able to, or will produce a gift letter, like a gift receipt acknowledgement, and send that to your home so that you can retain it for your records. So it's simple, I think. I think it's simple. So you'll reach out, we'll provide the instructions, you give it to your IRA custodian, initiate the payment, we'll confirm, make sure that it's properly designated, and then you've done a great thing. All right. Our forms, like the estate planning organizer, etc., are they available online? So there are some that are available online. The estate planning organizer, we keep it in our own little vault. We'll give you a link to it, but if you were to go on the website, you have other forms. So we have the confidential statement of bequest provision. We have, I'm sure the IRA instructions or the QCD instructions are on the website. Mailing addresses, tax ID. So we have a lot. If you visit our website, which I'll share that link later, like towards the very end, you can see all that we have to offer. And if there's something that you need, please do not hesitate to reach out to our office. We are a small but mighty group. So is CGA income always taxed as ordinary income? If you contribute cash, if you contribute appreciated securities, which is amazing to do, a portion of it would also be subject to capital gains tax, but the benefit. So let's play an example here. So we have a few more minutes for Q&A. So let's use an example. Let's say you have a concentrated position in stock ABC. Let's just do that. And of course, we love to diversify. So it's always good to just look at your allocation. So you said, hey, I have $200,000 worth of ABC stock that I want to contribute and start a CGA. You can do that. And so I'll prepare, or someone will prepare, or me, will prepare a gift illustration, and then we'll show the breakdown. So a portion will be tax-free, a portion will be subject to ordinary income taxes, and a portion will be subject to capital gains taxes. But the benefit is that you're able to spread out the capital gains over time, and we imagine into a space where you would be in a lower tax bracket. So if you were to take a 200K distribution for ABC stock, you'll have to pay all of those capital gains in that year. Whereas with the CGA, you can spread that out over a number of years based on your life expectancy. So that's one of the benefits. So please, if you have appreciated stock and you say, it never hurts to just reach out and have a conversation. It's very much from where I sit. We're here to be a resource for you and to answer your questions. It's not, so are you going to do this now? We're not pressuring you. We're giving you the information. And if at some point down the line you want to do it, great. We love that. And if not, we still love you. You're still a part of the family. All right. One more question. Wait, sorry. Do I need a form for a QCD? I don't, so the answer is your IRA custodian may require a form, but we don't. We just need notification. So when you send in a check or you email us, just let us know what your desired designation will be. And then we'll make sure that the gift is properly allocated and you get the gift receipt. So it's always important to communicate. It never hurts to reach out. We won't bombard you with emails. It's so much. I've always believed that it's better to measure twice and cut once. So we're here, whatever you need. Please don't be, oh, okay, overtime. Don't be a stranger. It's apparently time to say thank you. So that's all the time we have now. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our wonderful guests, Mark and Linda Moore, for generously sharing your time and experiences with us today. Your stories and insights are truly inspiring, and we hope that they encourage others to consider charitable gift annuities funded with a QCD as a way to support the University of Chicago. And of course, thank you to all of you for joining us today via Zoom, and for those watching the recording later on. We appreciate your time and engagement and hope that you found this session valuable. We also hope it has inspired you to explore how a bequest or plan gift could be a meaningful way to leave a lasting impact. If we weren't able to answer your questions, please feel free to reach out to the Office of Gift Planning. There are several ways to contact us. We invite you to visit us online at giftplanning.uchicago.edu and to consider the Office of Gift Planning as a resource for any questions you may have. Before you go, please take a moment to complete our anonymous survey where you have to tell them how much do you like the program. No, we want you to be honest, it will appear at the very end when you exit the meeting, and your feedback is incredibly valuable and helps us continue to provide the most useful and informative programming possible. So I would like to leave you. Oh, okay, sorry. I would like to leave you with a quote from Spencer Sean. The more informed we are, the more we understand, the better we're able to protect ourselves, our family, and our assets. Thank you again, everyone. I look forward to seeing you at our next information session.